After getting rich overnight, I kicked off my perfect keep the kid, ditched the dad plan. And I picked the perfect guy with top-tier genes to be the father. But just as I was about to skip town with our kid, he cornered me. "Babe, planning on having a baby and running?" He tilted my chin up, a wicked glint in his eye. "Dream on." Lately, my mind has been set on one thing: having a baby on my own. Because, let me tell you, I'm on top of the world right now. Not long ago, the little startup my unreliable boss cobbled together actually went public. As a core member of the founding team who had slaved away for him, working insane hours for 4 years, my stock options suddenly turned into 35,070 just like that. I went from a poor orphan to a multi-millionaire. Of course, it wasn't just me. Everyone in the company with stock struck it rich overnight. Even the cleaning lady walked away with $2 million. The second the money hit my account, I quit. I walked out of there without a second glance. Let someone else have that god-awful job. With over 35 million in the bank, as long as I don't go on a crazy spending spree or try to launch some dumb startup, I'm set for life. I picked a bank to deposit my 2.5 small goals. The wealth manager was so ecstatic her face almost split in two. She looked like she wanted to kiss me. Even with the sluggish economy and rock-bottom interest rates, she still managed to get me a 5% return. That means, with my fortune sitting in their bank, I'd be earning nearly $1.8 million in interest every year. And if I don't spend all that interest, it gets rolled back into the principal, which means, thanks to compounding, I'd make even more the next year. It's like having 50 high-paid professionals working for me for free. I had to hide my sheer joy, fighting to keep the corners of my mouth from turning up into a massive grin. I maintained my composure and feigned indifference. I even told her I needed to think about it. That sent the bank into a panic. To keep me and my 35 million, they offered me a position as a vice president. The salary was $15,000 a month plus commission. And I didn't even have to work. I could show up if I felt like it, or just chill at home. As long as I kept at least 15 million in their bank, the VP title was mine forever. Not only did they make me a VP, but they also gave me a shiny, gold-plated Louis Vuitton trash can. Walking out of the bank in a daze, clutching my designer trash can, I finally understood. The rich really do get richer. Once you stumble into money, life basically goes into cheat mode. I gleefully bought myself a fully furnished luxury condo and moved right in. I also got a red Porsche, worth over $150,000, from my daily driver. Why not a more expensive luxury car? Well, I came from nothing, so being frugal is second nature. Besides, a single girl like me should try to keep a low profile. Lying on the comfy couch in my new home, snacking on pastries, I started to wonder. I'm loaded, I have a car and a condo, what else do I need? After thinking for a long time, it hit me. Right, I need a baby. With all this money, I need an heir to inherit my little fortune. But I don't want to get married. Why? I was in a serious relationship for 4 years in college. But less than 2 months after graduation, my boyfriend of 4 years cheated on me, while wearing the expensive dress shoes I'd scrimped and saved to buy for him. He fell for his department manager's daughter. Before he left, he didn't forget to throw one last insult at me: "You're just an old-fashioned virgin. A broke loser." That hit me hard. After that, I completely closed myself off to love. I don't need romance, and I certainly don't need marriage. My plan was to find a handsome, young guy with amazing genes, have some fun, get pregnant, and then disappear. A clean break. Yes, that's it. My perfect plan. Brilliant as ever, I immediately called my best friend, Annie, who works as a student advisor at our old university. I asked her to find me an outstanding, handsome, and financially struggling male student to keep me company. For a price, of course. You, Ava. Have you lost your mind? You want me to be your pimp? And drag one of my students into this? No way, I'm not doing that. Annie angrily shut me down. I immediately sent her 20 Annie, honey, this is for you. Use it for whatever. The thing is, I just got a big project bonus, and I want to help a poor kid out, just like you helped me back in the day. You know how that kind of help can change someone's life, fill it with warmth and light, right? I'm sure there's a guy out there who would be willing. Starting out in life is tough. Pride doesn't pay the bills. Annie accepted the money instantly. Oh, you don't have to give me money for this. Actually, I do know this one guy who's incredibly handsome and brilliant. It breaks my heart to see him struggling so much. If you could genuinely help him, it would be a good thing. Besides, my Ava is gorgeous and successful. It's a fair trade. And just like that, Annie set up a meeting with the boy for me. Annie picked a very high-end coffee shop for the meeting. It was my first time there. The moment I walked in, I spotted him among the crowd. He was just magnetic. Even in a simple white t-shirt and gray sweatpants. His clean, fresh vibe and flawless good looks made everyone, consciously or not, steal a glance. Oh my God, so this is the pretty boy Annie found for me. Totally worth it. I excitedly sat down across from him. He looked up, his beautiful, deep black eyes meeting mine, and he seemed to pause for a second. His long eyelashes practically brushed against my heart. In that instant, I was already thinking of names for our future children. Excuse me, did Annie send you? Your name is William, right? The boy nodded. I'm Ava, Vice President at XX Bank. I was sure my smile was utterly charming as I handed him my gold-embossed business card. He took it. His hands were long and pale, with perfectly defined knuckles, so beautiful they could have been a hand model's. I couldn't help but swallow. Truly exceptional people are exceptional in every way. Annie told me he won a top scholarship every year, so his intelligence was off the charts. And now, seeing him in person, his looks were just as outstanding. I couldn't take my eyes off his physique. I'd give him a 99 out of 1. I'm docking 1 point so he doesn't get too arrogant. The only thing was, he seemed a bit cold. Probably the insecurity that comes with being poor, using coldness as a shield. I used to be like that, too. People who didn't know me called me an ice queen, but really, I was just a lonely, insecure little weed. I'm very interested in you. If you're willing, I'll give you $10,000 a month. You'll be in a relationship with me for 3 months. After the 3 months are up, you're free to go. Yes, you can think of it simply as, I want to be your sugar mama for 3 months. I upped the price. A premium product deserves a premium price. If I wasn't so cheap, honestly, he'd be worth even more. William looked at me, a chill radiating from his beautiful eyes. As I watched him expectantly, he actually stood up and walked away. Huh? What's going on? Is he refusing? Or is this just playing hard to get? I quickly chased after him. William, Annie told me you're really struggling financially, working multiple jobs just to stay in school. The money I'm offering is enough for you to study and get into grad school without any stress. All I'm asking for is 3 months of your time. What part-time job could earn you this much in 3 months? I pointed at my Porsche. This is brand new, $157,000. If you keep me happy, I'll sign the title over to you. I'm sure if you turn this down, there will be plenty of others lining up for the opportunity. William looked down at me. He was tall, probably around 6 feet 2 inches or 6 feet 3 inches, and incredibly imposing. At 5 feet 5 inches, I had to crane my neck to look up at him. He stared at me for a long time. I started to wonder if something was on my face. Maybe I should raise the price again? Being a sugar baby is probably a huge blow to a guy's pride. Even though I'm not a bad catch myself, I was voted campus belle back in college. Everyone in the computer science department knew Ava. Even after 4 years of the startup grind, my skin is still smooth and I'm still cute and pretty. I don't look old at all. Just as I was about to open my mouth and offer more money, William suddenly nodded. Fine. 3 months. I'll be with you. I grinned. After 3 months, the Porsche is yours. I'm a woman of my word. Hee hee, see? That wasn't so hard. Even if William saw this as the great humiliation of his life, I didn't care. What I wanted were his superior genes. Keep the kid, ditch the dad. That was my ultimate goal. And before that, I had every right to enjoy this premium grade pretty boy. They say you can't force a horse to drink, but who cares if the horse is happy? I'm the one who's thirsty. I took William out for a fancy dinner. Then, I drove him back to my condo. In the car, William was still radiating coldness. I knew he wasn't happy. Duh, what college guy would be genuinely thrilled about being kept by a rich woman? But I didn't care. As long as I was happy, that's all that mattered. Driving past a pharmacy, I hit the brakes. With a guy this hot by my side for 3 months, I couldn't get pregnant right away. Given how young and healthy we both are, with our top quality swimmers and eggs, the last month would be more than enough time for me to conceive. So for the first 2 months, I needed to use protection. That way, I could fully enjoy his fresh, juicy body. Can you run in and buy a few boxes of little raincoats? William looked confused. I chuckled inwardly. What an innocent young man. Annie really picked a good one for me. He might even be a virgin. I put on a worldly, composed act. You know, the little things you guys wear, down there. I had done a ton of research online, and this seemed like the best method of birth control, the one that was least harmful to a woman's body. Birth control pills could go to hell. And when I'm ready for a baby, I'll just poke a little hole in the condom. Haha. I'm a genius. William's face flushed. Tonight, you want to? Of course. Did you think I was just buying you dinner and drinks? You think I have so much money I'm just looking for someone to help me spend it? We're adults here, you should know what the other person wants, right? I had to project the authority of a sugar mama. He shot me a glare and got out of the car, heading into the pharmacy. I waited for a long time, but William didn't come out. Finally, I had to get out and go find him. I found him standing there, his face beet red. 2 young female cashiers were staring at him with stars in their eyes, asking him all sorts of questions. Oh hell no, these girls better not try to steal my boy toy. With that thought, I cleared my throat loudly. Not done yet? Can't figure out your size or something? I was staking my claim. I walked over and pointed confidently at a box. That one. Give me 2 boxes each of small, medium, and large. William looked at me, exasperated. Babe, those are medical gloves. Well, how was I supposed to know? I'm a good, old-fashioned girl. What do I know about what condom boxes look like? I should have just ordered them online. That one. My eyes frantically scanned the shelves until I finally spotted what I was looking for. This one, small, medium, large. William spoke up. Large is fine. Even the tips of his ears were red. I almost slapped my thigh in triumph. Of course the guy I picked would be a large. Large. Toting our bag of large-sized raincoats and linking arms with William, I was basking in the envious glares of the 2 female cashiers as we walked out. But, as fate would have it, our luck ran out. Of all the pharmacies in the city, how did I manage to run into my ex-boyfriend? There he was, with his arm around his rich wife, walking in just as we were walking out. We practically collided. Even though it had been almost 4 years, I'd recognize his ashes if he were cremated. This was the guy who made me give up on love. My ex looked at me, then at the bag in my hand. A look of smug understanding crossed his face. Well, Ava. Looks like you've loosened up. I thought you'd end up an old maid, alone forever. The woman next to him chimed in with a snide tone. So this is that tacky ex-girlfriend who wouldn't leave you alone? She really is tacky. Damn it, I wanted to slug her right in the face and knock that nose job of hers crooked. Wouldn't leave him alone. Did you ever ask him who paid for his meals in college? Who bought him the dress shoes he wore to suck up to you? Has he ever taken you back to his dirt-poor hometown to meet his family of leeches? I'd be careful if I were you. Maybe check if he's taken out a life insurance policy on you. Don't want him to bleed you dry. I shot a mocking look at my ex and his new wife. Did he still think I was the same naive, love-struck girl who would do anything for him? Did he think I wouldn't expose him for who he really is? The rich girl's face changed, and she glared at my ex. He panicked, trying to placate her. Honey, don't listen to her. She's just bitter because she couldn't have me. I scoffed. You're about as appealing as a tube of chapstick. You have negative sex appeal. Who would want you? With anyone else, I would have lost my virginity ages ago. It was because of you that I practically wore a chastity belt. Just then, William moved closer, wrapping his arm possessively around my waist. Ava, who are these two country bumpkins? His tall, powerful frame and devastatingly handsome face left both my ex and his wife stunned. The wife, especially, looked like her eyeballs were about to pop out and stick to William's face. She looked at William with a bashful expression. My ex was decent looking, I guess. Your average guy. But comparisons are cruel. Next to William, my ex suddenly looked like a troll. I smiled. This is your predecessor. He climbed the social ladder. But I should thank him, really. If he hadn't left, I never would have met you. William looked down his nose at my ex, then leaned in close to my ear, speaking just loud enough for everyone to hear. Babe, your taste used to be terrible. Were you not wearing your contacts back then? Look at him. Is he even worthy of a single strand of your hair? The security guards at my dad's company are better looking. I playfully punched his solid chest. Everyone runs into a scumbag or two when they're young. Why didn't you show up sooner? This is all your fault. All right, my bad. I'll make it up to you tonight. Our little back and forth completely humiliated my ex in front of his wife. Even the pharmacy clerks had come over to watch the drama unfold. This infuriated my ex. He lunged at me, raising his fist. Ava, you're really asking for it, aren't you? Who told you to run your mouth in front of my wife? Before his fist could connect, William had him pinned to the ground. My ex's face twisted in pain as he cried out. William's voice was even colder than his handsome face. Show my Ava any more disrespect, and I'll end you. He kicked my ex into a corner, then wrapped his arm around me and led me out. We got into my Porsche. I sat in the passenger seat. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see my ex and his wife staring at us, their faces pale with rage. They probably never imagined I'd end up with someone who drove a Porsche. Even if he married his manager's daughter, I doubt her father would buy him a car like this. It wasn't the most expensive luxury car, but it was more than enough to crush his ego. But then, a new wave of anxiety hit me. William was just a poor college student. Could he even drive? This would blow my cover. My worries were unfounded. William drove like a pro. Much better than me, in fact. When did you learn to drive? I thought you were a scholarship student, I asked, curious. Oh, I've worked a lot of odd jobs. Sometimes I'd valet or be a designated driver, so I learned. William's tone was very casual. Oh, I nodded. You handled that really well back there. I'm going to give you a bonus. I transferred him $5,000. He defended my honor. He deserved a reward. I brought William back to my condo. My heart was racing with excitement, the unpleasant encounter with my ex completely forgotten. Tonight, the fun begins. Go take a shower, I commanded, sitting on the sofa like a queen. I ordered some clothes for you, they'll be here in 10 minutes. I want you squeaky clean and smelling good. I felt like a domineering CEO from one of those romance novels. God, this felt good. William went into the bathroom to shower. I noticed his watch sitting on the counter. Huh, isn't that a Richard Mille? This kid's pretty vain, wearing a high-end fake. Whatever. He's young. Who doesn't have a bit of vanity? I took the opportunity to download a porn video. Time to cram for the exam. I didn't want to look like a total amateur in front of my own boy toy. After finally downloading the file, I stared at the steamy thumbnail, my heart pounding. I eagerly clicked play, and my screen went dark. What the hell? This isn't porn. It's an old cartoon. Not giving up, I downloaded another one. This one was even more intense, Tom and Jerry. The dubbed-over version, no less. Damn it. My hopes were officially crushed. I'm reporting this website. As I was fuming, William walked out with a white towel wrapped around his waist. I'm done. I looked up at the sound of his voice and was met with the sight of a god emerging from the bath. Oh my god, his body was perfect. Full chest muscles, a narrow waist, and an alluring V-line that disappeared into the towel. It made you want to just rip it off. He was using another towel to dry his hair, and his face, it was so clean and radiant it made my mouth water. My jaw dropped. And then, my nose started bleeding. So much for my newfound high-class status. I still had the instincts of a commoner. Besides, I was a 26-year-old girl, and a very traditional one at that. When had I ever been exposed to such a powerful visual stimulus? So, my nose was bleeding. A lot. William quickly grabbed my right hand. Raise it up. He pulled me into the bathroom. While making me keep my arm raised, he splashed cold water on the bridge of my nose. The bleeding finally stopped. I could feel myself blushing from my toes to the top of my head. Ugh, I've made a fool of myself twice today. First, letting my boy toy know I'd been dumped. And second, he now probably thinks I'm completely inexperienced, so much for my cool, sophisticated image. But I had to salvage my pride. It's just so hot in here. The capillaries in my nose must have burst from the heat. Oh. Really? Not from being consumed by lust? William held my shoulders, studying my face closely. Of course not. I'm not some 20-year-old girl. I've seen it all. I've been with guys hotter and sexier than you. William's long arms swept me up into a Princess Carrie. Oh, really? Well then, let's see just how experienced you are. I don't know anything, so you'll have to teach me. I put on my best cool girl act. Don't worry. I'll train you well. A minute later, William and I were in bed, both as awkward as each other. Watching videos is one thing, but practice is another. And I hadn't even gotten to see a video. That stupid website. I'm definitely reporting it. Is it here? I don't think so. William, don't just poke around blindly. Ow, it hurts so much, it feels so good. Babe, why are you crying? Because it hurts, I'm crying from pleasure. After the first time, William got the hang of it quickly. Young guys really are something else. He went at it for a long time, until I finally said, caringly, William, let's sleep. Don't you have an 8 a.m. class tomorrow? Only then did he let me go. As I drifted off to sleep, a few words kept circling in my mind. Young guys are the best. Being rich is the best. I slept until the sun was high in the sky. When I woke up, William was gone. He had worn the new clothes I bought for him. He probably went back to school. The stamina on these young guys is incredible. After all that, he could still make an 8 a.m. class. My old bones felt like they were about to fall apart. I went to wash up and saw a container of porridge and 2 small side dishes on the dining table. Next to it was a note with elegant, flowing handwriting. Babe, I saw your fridge was empty, so I bought you some porridge and sides from a breakfast place. Eat something when you get up. Don't skip meals. I smiled. This kid was learning how to please his sugar mama. He's a fast learner. Just as I was feeling pleased, Annie called. Perfect timing. I wanted to thank her anyway. Ava, why didn't you show up yesterday? I froze. Show up? Show up where? Didn't I set up a meeting for you with William yesterday? I saw him today, and he told me you never came. He said he doesn't want to do the kept man thing anymore, that he'd rather rely on his own hard work. I just wanted to check in with you. My eyes widened. What? I didn't go? How is that possible? Didn't I meet William? We had dinner, bought condoms, and spent the whole night together. Did I get the wrong guy? Oh God, please don't let this William be one of those guys who uses his looks to seduce women and spread HIV. Goosebumps erupted all over my skin. Ava, should I try to set it up again? Annie was still talking. My voice trembled. No, that's okay, Annie. I'm, not feeling well. I got my period. So, the money I sent you. It's yours to keep. Go spend it. I have a headache, I'm going to go lie down. I hastily hung up the phone. My mind was in turmoil. I was on the verge of tears. Oh God, did I really run into some kind of predator? But then, I remembered we used a condom every time. It couldn't be that bad, right? Or maybe he's just some gigolo who saw I had money and wanted me to keep him. If that's the case, I don't want him, no matter how hot he is. I need excellent genes, which means his intelligence has to be outstanding too. I would never go for a male escort. With that thought, I sent William a text. Where are you? William replied quickly, at school. I thought for a moment, then grabbed my keys and drove straight to my old university. When I got to the front gate, I texted him again, where are you right now? He replied, in chemistry lab 3, running an experiment. Okay, let's see if he's actually in the lab. Thankfully, the security guard at the gate still recognized me. I told him I was there to see Annie, and he let me in. 3 minutes later, I was standing outside chemistry lab. I peeked inside and immediately saw William in a white lab coat, focused on his experiment. He seemed to be cultivating some kind of organic compound, and his concentration was incredibly attractive. The sharp, superior line of his profile was a work of art. His perfect nose and lips made me want to kiss him. The knot in my stomach loosened. He hadn't lied to me. But why did he tell Annie I never showed up? Was he just trying to save face, not wanting anyone to know he was being kept? This kid. Half an hour later, the bell rang. William came downstairs, laughing and talking with his classmates, and saw me right away. What are you doing here? His deep eyes were full of surprise and sparkled brightly. Do you have any more classes? I wanted to take you out to eat. A few of William's friends gathered around. Yo, William, who's this? Their eyes were full of gossip. William's handsome face flushed. My girlfriend. I almost floated away. He actually called me his girlfriend. The guys immediately started teasing him. Nice one, William. When did you get such a cute, pretty girlfriend and not tell us? Hey, what's your major? You got any cute roommates you can set us up with? I touched my face, embarrassed. Pretty and cute? Am I still pretty and cute? Did they think I was a college student too? I'm almost 27. Aren't I old? Maybe it's because I dressed more casually today that I look younger. We just started dating. I was going to introduce you all after a while. Call her sister-in-law. William put on a serious face. Sister-in-law, if you're treating him to a meal, you should take us too. Before I could respond, William kicked each of them lightly on the butt. Get lost. The guys laughed and ran off with their books. William watched them go, his face still red. Why did you say I was your girlfriend? My own face was burning. William seemed a little unhappy. We've already slept together. Doesn't that make me your boyfriend? I opened my mouth to speak. A 3-month boyfriend? He looked at me quietly. Why did you come to the school to find me? Of course, I couldn't tell him I suspected he was a predator. I quickly said, I came to take you shopping. You know, to the mall to buy you some clothes, luxury goods, that kind of thing. What do you like? I'll buy it for you. Yep, this is what sugar mamas do, right? Shower their sugar babies with material gifts. Even if he was a male sugar baby, I still had to spend money on him. William smiled. I'm not really into luxury stuff. And I have enough clothes. You just bought me a new outfit yesterday, it's great, so I don't need more. My mouth fell open. Then what do you want? William's eyes darted around. How about we go see a movie at one of those theaters with the couple seats? Okay, fine by me. So, I actually went to a movie theater with couple seats with William and watched a classic, heart-wrenching romance. We snuggled in the cozy love seat, sharing fried chicken and popcorn. It really felt like we were a young couple. During the emotional parts, I even shed a few tears. William held my hand tightly. He pulled me into his arms. His embrace was so fresh and natural, without a hint of smoke or greasiness. That youthful scent was genuinely heart-fluttering. But I couldn't let my heart flutter. He was just my boy toy, my sugar baby. It was late when we left the theater, and the night air was a bit chilly. William took off his jacket and draped it over my shoulders. He then tucked my cold hands into his pants pockets. My heart did a little flip again. I really liked this feeling. Someone putting a jacket on me on a windy day. Someone tucking my cold hands into their warm pockets. I spaced out for a moment. He looked down at me. What's wrong? Afraid he'd see through me, I quickly shook my head with a smile. Nothing, let's just go home. I'm a little hungry, want to get something to eat. William tucked a strand of my hair behind my ear. What do you want to eat? I grinned. You. William playfully pinched my cheek, but his beautiful eyes were full of laughter. And so, I feasted for most of the night. I was very, very full. My time with William was incredibly harmonious and passionate. My feelings for him grew with each passing day. One day, as I was forcing him to watch a horror movie with me, he was so scared he couldn't even open his eyes, hiding in my arms and whining, "Hold me, babe." I suddenly remembered, the 3 months were almost up. I couldn't let this continue. I couldn't let pleasure distract me from my goal. Didn't I want to keep the kid, ditch the dad? William was just a tool for procreation. Even though, I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't fall for him. Get a grip, Ava. You don't need marriage or love. Your goal is superior genes. So, the next day, I took the remaining condoms and poked a tiny hole in each one. That night, I wrapped myself around William's youthful, sexy body. We went at it again and again. I gently nibbled on his earlobe. When he was turned on, even his earlobes turned red. It was adorable. William, do you have any wishes? I gazed into his beautiful eyes, my fingers tracing circles on his full chest. I hope I can be with you forever, Ava. For that, I'll work really hard. Ava, I have a surprise for you. My heart felt like it had been squeezed. Ava, this is just a boy toy's tactic to please his sugar mama. You can't fall for it. He'd say the same thing to a rich old woman built like the Michelin Man if she asked him that. With that thought, my heart hardened again. 7 days later, I saw the 2 pink lines I was hoping for on the pregnancy test. Just as I expected, getting pregnant is so easy and fast when you're young. My feelings were a complicated mix. There was the ecstasy of achieving my goal, but also an indescribable sense of loss. No more kissing and cuddling with my pretty boy. But a strong, independent woman doesn't have time for loss. I secretly packed my things and left the condo. On the dining table, I left the keys to the Porsche and the deed granting him permanent use of the condo. I left him the car and the place as compensation and a thank you. When he needed to transfer the ownership, would have my lawyer handle the paperwork. Before I blocked William's number, I transferred $130,000 to his bank account. Then, I left the city. I rented a small house with a beautiful garden in a quiet town by the coast to spend my pregnancy. Every day, a private caregiver would cook me all sorts of nutritious meals. She would accompany me on scenic walks. Life was carefree and relaxed. But still, I would often dream of William's handsome, charming face in the middle of the night. And those passionate eyes. I wonder if he's back to his normal life, now that I've blocked him. He's probably forgotten all about me, or maybe he's found a girlfriend he truly connects with. In the end, we were just passing ships in the night. But I'm still grateful to him for giving me a baby. I gently stroked my growing belly, my heart overflowing with maternal love. I spent my days imagining what my future baby would look like. A call came in. I answered. It was the personal assistant the bank had assigned to me. Even though I didn't work there, I was still a vice president. Hello, VP Sue. A client just deposited $100 million today for a 5-year term and specifically requested it be credited to your performance metrics. You're amazing, VP Sue. Your network, the president said your commission this year is going to be huge. I was stunned for a moment. Who would be so kind and so wealthy as to boost my numbers like that? I didn't know anyone that rich. Annie was well off, but she couldn't just deposit $100 million. Who is this client? I was very curious. The assistant told me a name I didn't recognize at all. VP Sue, this client asked for your address and new contact information. I didn't give it to him. I wanted to ask if you'd like me to share it. Keep it confidential, please. I didn't want anyone to know where I was right now. 8 months flew by. Today was another one of my prenatal checkups. After a long morning of tests, I was finally done. Just as my caregiver was helping me leave the hospital, a nurse chased after me. Ms. Ava, Dr. Evans asked me to call you back. There seems to be a small issue with your test results. My head started buzzing. Is my baby okay? It's not missing a liver or a kidney, is it? The nurse quickly reassured me, it's nothing major, just a tiny little thing. I nervously followed the nurse back to Dr. Evans' office. My caregiver waited outside. The moment I stepped inside, the nurse left and closed the door behind her. I got even more scared. What was wrong with my baby? I was terrified. Every checkup was a nerve-wracking experience for me. I was always so afraid something was wrong. Dr. Evans, the nurse said there was a problem with the test results. I stammered, looking at the person behind the desk who was intently studying a stack of papers. There is a problem. A very big problem. Ava, you're pretty good at hiding. Just where did you think you could run off to with my child? The person slammed the papers on the desk, making me jump. When I looked at him, I almost jumped 3 feet in the air. Because that wasn't Dr. Evans. It was someone I knew all too well, my former boy toy, William. I hadn't seen him in over 8 months. The William standing before me now looked sharp and intimidating. That breathtakingly handsome face could deliver a direct blow to the soul. Oh crap, how did he find me here? Sir, I think you've made a mistake. My name and appearance might be similar to the person you're looking for, but it's really not me. As I spoke, I tried to turn and bolt, but the door had been locked by that nurse. I pressed my back against the door panel, watching in terror as William strode towards me, radiating a chilling aura. This was more terrifying than a grizzly bear charging at me. William got close, leaning in towards my face. Oh. It's not you? Then what about the little red mole on your inner thigh? Should I have you stripped down so I can verify? And also. My face turned pale. Fine, I guess he wasn't dumb enough to not recognize me. Okay, fine, it's me. But I'm married now, and pregnant. Please, don't ruin my family. Let's just leave each other with good memories. Married? Call your husband. I want to see who he is. Go on, make the call. My face went even paler. I didn't have a single male friend here. Where was I supposed to find a temporary husband? Babe, you thought you could have my kid and just disappear? Dream on. He shook my test results in my face. 34 weeks and 4 days. Are you telling me this isn't my baby? There was no escaping. But I couldn't back down. With that thought, I straightened my back. I'm a strong, independent woman. What's there to be afraid of? That's right. I got pregnant by accident when we were together. But you haven't lost anything. I never asked you to take responsibility. I left you the condo and the car, and even gave you an extra $100,000. I was more than fair. You spent 3 months with me, and I gave you enough money to study abroad or whatever. What, are you trying to blackmail me now? William leaned in closer, his handsome nose almost touching mine. You used me, dumped me, and ran away with my child. When have I, William Sterling, ever been played like this? Do you have any idea how long I've been looking for you? If my family didn't own this hospital, I still wouldn't have found you. What? William Sterling? His family owns this hospital? Aren't you just William? Isn't this a hospital under the Sterling Group? My voice was trembling even more than my body. William Sterling's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. That's right. The Sterling Group, my family's company. Charles Sterling is my father. My vision went black. The poor college student I'd kept for 3 months was the heir to the Sterling Group. This was a massive misunderstanding. That day, I was waiting for someone. You're the one who suddenly came up and offered to be my sugar mama. I'm 24 years old, and no one has ever dared to say they wanted to keep me. You were the first. I'm so sorry, Mr. Sterling, I really messed up. Look, the baby is already 8 months along. It would be too cruel to terminate the pregnancy now, right? How about I just give birth and raise the child myself? I promise I won't let them fight with your future legitimate children for the inheritance. I can afford it. I have over $35 million in my bank account at XX Bank. Really, you can check. They even made me a VP because I have so much money. And they gave me a limited edition LV trash can. I held up 2.5 fingers. I looked at William Sterling pitifully. Mr. Sterling, it's all a misunderstanding. I just wanted to help the less fortunate, poor college students who can't afford their education. I had no idea I'd run into you. It's my fault for being blind. A man as suave and sophisticated as you clearly isn't poor. My bad, my bad. As I spoke, I lightly slapped my own cheeks, my poor, collagen-filled cheeks. I'll disappear from your sight immediately. I promise I'll never show up again. I kept bowing and apologizing. My cool girl persona was completely gone. William's long fingers gently caressed my delicate chin. His beautiful eyes twinkled like stars. Too late. My parents and my grandmother already know I have a child on the way. He smiled. Ava, what do you think I should do? I blinked my eyes. They weren't going to keep the child, ditch the mother, were they? No, my baby that I worked so hard to conceive. The baby I've been looking forward to for so long. I can give you money. How much do you want? I trembled. William raised an eyebrow. You're talking to me about money? My family has enough money to bury you in it. He lifted me up and walked out of the office. A group of people was waiting outside. When they saw him carrying me, they immediately greeted him, Mr. Sterling. William nodded. We're going back to a city. And just like that, I was whisked away by William Sterling back to a city. Honestly, I like a city. I grew up there, went to college there. But this time, I was being brought back as a captive. The feeling wasn't so great. As soon as we got off the plane, I was surrounded by William's family. One by one, they lovingly touched my hand and my belly. William's mother and grandmother, two elegant and dignified ladies, were so emotional they were almost in tears. "My dear child, running off so far while you're pregnant. You must have been so scared. We were worried sick looking for you. We finally found you. If we hadn't, Grandma wouldn't have been able to go on." That was William's grandmother. "It's good that you're back. We'll take good care of you and the baby now," William's mother said, stroking my hair. William's father, the powerful CEO I'd often seen on TV, had lost all his domineering presence. He looked at me with a kind and gentle expression. To be honest, in that moment, I was touched. I'm an orphan. My parents abandoned me at birth. So, I've never known this kind of love and care from family. It genuinely made me feel cherished for the first time. But then, I remembered that after I give birth, they'll probably just toss me aside, and I'll be all alone again. My excitement vanished. The Sterling family set me up in a mansion. There were at least 8 maids and caregivers looking after me. An excellent chef made me a variety of delicious meals every day. Despite all this, I was filled with anxiety. My keep the kid, ditch the dad plan. No. Ava, will not accept my fate. One day, I sent my caregiver away on an errand, then calmly moved a chair to the wall. Despite my large belly, I was still agile enough to climb onto the retaining wall. Gripping the top of the wall, I carefully started to lower myself down. Freedom was just moments away. This time, they could search high and low and they'd never find me. Someone caught me. "Thank you, kind stranger." I turned to thank them, only to find that the person who caught me was William. My hands slipped in panic, and I fell into his arms. "Ms. Ava, may I ask where you're going?" "Oh, just bored and sore all over. Wanted to go for a little walk." "If you want to go for a walk, just let me know. I'll have someone accompany you. Or I could even take you out myself." "So, Ms. Ava, what's with climbing the wall?" I laughed nervously. "Oh, I was just, trying to get some exercise. Testing my flexibility." "Don't worry, I was actually planning on climbing back over." Like I'd believe that. William's handsome face was cold as he carried me back into the villa. I'm thinking, maybe I should take all of Ava's clothes and put a leash around her neck. That way, she won't be thinking about sneaking over walls. I gritted my teeth. This guy was a real jerk. Fine, I won't run. I absolutely won't run, okay? I'll leave after the baby is born. That sentence must have made him angry again. He pushed me onto the bed, and before I could react, his dominant, forceful kiss left me breathless. That familiar feeling made my heart both flutter and pound with fear. "You're not escaping. From now on, I'm watching you myself." He seemed to be fighting some kind of discomfort. His long, elegant fingers traced a path from my cheek down to my high, round belly. "Ava, I won't let you abandon me and run away again." He rested his face in the crook of my neck, his warm breath soft against my skin. "From today on, I'm not letting you out of my sight." I smiled sweetly. "Mr. Sterling, don't you have to go back to class and your experiments?" William gently booped my nose. "I've already graduated with my master's degree." "Oh, wow. So he already has his master's. Then, don't you have to work?" The moment the words left my mouth, I wanted to slap myself. He's the heir to the Sterling Group. Does he need to work a 9 to 5? William held up his phone. "My father is managing the group, and my own biotech company has already gone public. For now, I can manage it remotely. As expected from a man of his stature. He started his own company in college, and now it's public. And here I was, shamelessly trying to be his sugar mama. The thought made my face burn. Then you." William pulled me onto his lap. "Right now, my only job is to be with my wife, who is about to give birth." "Wife?" I stared blankly into his star-like eyes. Did he say wife? Is that so strange? You're having my baby. Of course you're my wife. I murmured, plenty of women could have your baby. William's face darkened. But there's only one woman who I've actually fallen for. My eyes widened. William took a small, exquisite jewelry box out of his pocket. He opened it to reveal a massive diamond ring, the size of a quail's egg. He slipped it onto my ring finger. It was a perfect fit. Ava, marry me. Marry me, with my child. My pupils dilated. He asked me to marry him? The heir to the billion-dollar sterling fortune wants to marry me? I looked at him, puzzled. Are you after my money? I mean, it made sense. I'm rich. I have my own little $35 million nest egg. William tapped my nose a few times. That $100 million that was deposited into your bank? I just had it transferred to your personal account. So now, Ava, you have another $100 million. That's my betrothal gift to you. And the initial profits from my company's IPO, along with all my other assets, will be shared with you. I want to make you happy and cherished for the rest of your life. His gift to me? I checked my phone, and sure enough, there was a text confirming a $100 million deposit. Why? I still couldn't believe it. He was just some college kid I was keeping. I'll tell you after we get the marriage license. William placed a light kiss on the corner of my mouth. Ava, a woman who throws money at me like that, don't I have to return the favor and completely dazzle her? Fine, a man with a vengeful streak. Dazzle away. I love money, after all. The next day, William dragged me to get our marriage license. To avoid tiring me out, we postponed the wedding ceremony. To give me a sense of security, the Sterling family transferred the deeds to 2 mansions and 5 prime commercial properties to my name. A month later, our first child came into the world. A lovely daughter. William's parents and grandmother were grinning from ear to ear, holding her all day long. 3 months later, we held a grand wedding with our baby in our arms. William held me tightly, kissing my face tenderly. Ava, I know you've been through a lot, that you've been lonely for a long time. But please believe me, for the rest of your life, there will be no more hardship, only sweetness. I believed him. Because I had him. I met Ava when I was a freshman. During the student health check, I fainted after getting a shot. When I stumbled out, the world was spinning. She happened to be passing by. Seeing me fall, she threw out her arms to break my fall. I landed spectacularly in her arms, knocking her over. But she protected my head the whole time, scraping her own elbow in the process. When I opened my eyes, I saw a face as fresh and beautiful as a lotus flower and a pair of the most stunning eyes. She carefully helped me up and then hurried away. I found out from other students that she was a senior. She was an exceptional girl. From then on, my eyes would always search for her. She always seemed incredibly busy. She worked multiple part-time jobs, at the cafeteria, the library, the campus computer lab. She was a whirlwind of activity. While other girls were meticulously doing their makeup and putting together stylish outfits, I only ever saw Ava in the same 2 or 3 clean, faded sets of clothes. She never wore makeup, but it couldn't hide her unique, pure beauty. I found out she was an orphan, with no family at all. But she was still so bright and cheerful, her pretty face always lit up with a sunny smile. I realized I was falling for her, harder and harder. I loved her cute, hearty laugh. Though, I only ever watched her from afar. I wanted to confess my feelings, but then I found out she had a boyfriend. She was so good to him. I even saw her paying for his meals every time. She often gave him carefully wrapped gifts. To save up money for his presents, she worked herself to the bone, so busy she would skip meals. She must have really loved him. I was heartbroken. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. As long as she was happy, I could stay out of her life. It was my first time liking a girl, and my first failed crush. She graduated. I buried my feelings, focused on my studies, and started my own business, launching my career while still in school. By the time I was in my first year of grad school, the biotech company I founded had already grown to a decent size. I thought I would never cross paths with Ava again. But one day, while I was waiting for a technician recommended by my mother's friend, Annie, I saw Ava again. She sat down across from me with a grin and offered to be my sugar mama. I was shocked, and then, ecstatic. Fine, Ava. Keep me. This time, I'm never letting you go.